get people focused and fired up. That is really the core work of this campaign, because that's how we did it 4 years ago, and that's how we're going to do it again. And I know that this work is not easy. And I know that you do it at great personal sacrifice, because everybody here is busy. You all have busy lives. You got jobs to do, classes to attend. Yes, I know school's getting ready to start again. We're fired up about school, right? Yeah. I'm not so convinced. Trust me, we have a few of you in my house, too. We have our families to raise, so we are busy, but I also know that there's a reason why we're all here. And it's not just because we support one extraordinary, awesome, huge man. My husband, our president. And it's not just because we want to win an election, which we do and we will. It's important to remember that we're doing this because of the values we believe in. You know, we're doing this because of the vision for this country that we all share. We're doing this because we believe that in America, everyone should have a fair shot. And that means that all of our kids, not just some of them, but all of them deserve to go to school. All of our kids deserve a chance to attend college without a mountain of debt. We believe that in this country, everyone should do their fair share. That means that teachers and firefighters shouldn't pay higher tax rates than millionaires. We're doing this because we believe that hard work should pay off. And that if you work hard, you shouldn't go bankrupt just because you get sick. In America, you shouldn't lose your home because someone loses a job. And after a lifetime of hard work, you should be able to retire with some dignity and security. And what you have to remember is that these are basic American values. So this is the foundation upon which this country was built. They're the values that so many of us were raised with, including myself. And yes, I tell my story everywhere I go because I'm proud of where I came from. I've got my family here. I got some of my Milwaukee cousins here. They are. My father was a pump operator at the city water plant in Chicago, and neither of my parents had a college degree. But let me tell you what they did do for us. Like so many people here, they saved for us. They sacrificed everything. They poured every little ounce of anything they had into me and my brother so that we could get the kind of education and have the kind of opportunities they could only dream of. And let me tell you, education was everything in our family. Young people, everything. Was our ticket to the middle class. It was our pathway to the American dream. And so when my brother and I finally made it to college, pretty much all of our tuition came from student loans and grants. I'm sure there are people here who can understand that. But my dad still paid a tiny portion of that tuition himself. And let me tell you, every semester, my father did everything he had to do to pay that bill right on time. Because he was so proud to be able to send his kids to college, to have a role in that. And he made sure that we never missed a registration deadline because his check was late. See, like so many people in this country, my father took great pride in earning a decent living. You know, the kind of living that let him meet his responsibilities to his family. That's all he ever wanted to do. He just wanted to be able to pay his bills, all of them, and pay on time. What happened to us? My father's life is a testament to that basic American promise that no matter who you are, no matter how you started out, if you work hard, you can build a decent life for yourself and an even better life for your kids. Yes. Let me tell you something. Your president, my husband, understands that promise because that is his story as well. That's the reason I married him. Job at the bank. And even though Barack's grandmother worked hard to help support his family, and she was good at what she did, like so many women, she hit that glass ceiling and watched men no longer qualified than she was, men she actually trained, climb that corporate ladder ahead of her. But let me tell you what Barack saw. He saw a woman who never complained. Never complained. He saw how she just kept getting up. You know, just kept giving her very best every day. So let me tell you something. Your president knows what it means when a family struggles. This is not a hypothetical situation. He believes that you do not slam it shut behind you. That's what's at stake. That's why we're here. That's what this election is about. It's that dream. It's that fundamental American promise. And let me tell you something, Milwaukee, from now until November, we are going to need every single one of you out there. We're going to need you to tell everybody, remind them about Barack's values. Tell them about this vision that we have, about the choices that we face in this election. Because this is an election about choices. It's an election about the choice of our economy. It's about whether we're going to build a strong and growing middle class. So I want you to remind folks, as shows that Barack has cut taxes for working families. on this issue. Because the fact is that over the past century, okay, 100 years, so many presidents have tried and failed to meet the challenge of healthcare reform. But your president was determined. Basic preventative care, things like contraception, at no extra cost. They can no longer discriminate against you because you have an illness they call a pre-existing condition. If you get really sick, you got a serious illness like breast cancer, and you need really expensive treatment, your insurance company can no longer tell you, sorry, you've hit your lifetime limit and we're not paying a penny more. No This November, we get to decide. Yes. Do we want these reforms to be repealed?
No!
Or do we want the people we love to have the care that we need?
Yes!
That's the choice in this election. That's why we're here. This election is a choice about whether our kids can attend college without a amount of debt. Now, believe it or not, back when Barack and I, we were first starting out our lives together, so in love, so broke. Our combined student loan bill each month was actually higher than our mortgage. And I know there are people here who can relate to that. So when it comes to student debt, believe me, my husband and I, we've been there. And that's why Barack worked so hard to double funding for Pell Grants.